Hey everybody, Danny J here for Capes Not Included, right here on the DJB Productions Network. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit some comments down below. We want to hear from you, of course. We got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about what's new, Marvel. So many things down the Marvel pipeline, from MCU to animation to television to more. We're going to talk about a lot of that stuff today. See what everybody's gisting on it. Joining me today, of course, is my good friend. He's the leader of the MCU's Bleeding Edge. He's a giant know-it-all. He is true knowledge himself, Jeff S.
What's up, DJ?
What's up? What's up? What's up? Such a great show that we got today. We're going to talk about so many things in Marvel that have come out, and refreshingly enough, not all of it is MCU, which is kind of cool. Jeff covers a lot of MCU stuff on the MCU's Bleeding Edge. So obviously you want to check him out. Check out that the videos he has on there. He's got more videos coming up as well. But Jeff, we got so many things coming out that are like outside of the Marvel MCU scope that I'm excited about too. What we'll do, we'll start talking about the giant elephant in the room. It received 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. X-Men 97, which was a tremendous continuation of the 90s series. Technically season 6, but they call it season 1 because it's a slightly different title. But such great storytelling. And somebody asked today, actually, on social media, they said, hey, how do you compare X-Men 97 to the OG? And, because I haven't watched it yet. And I said, well, it's the same quality of storytelling, except without all the restrictions of like Fox TV. So now we're able to get even better, even more in-depth conversations and relationships, and we're able to get even more in-depth like drama from X-Men, which I would have put X-Men, the original series, over the top big time back in the day. I know you watched it. You loved it as well. What were your initial comments about X-Men 97?
To differentiate, I guess, to go in that direction, to start off with, to compare the two different series,
Yeah.
The themes, they kept the soap opera-y aspect of the show, right?
Yeah.
But they tightened it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? With X-Men 97 to where it was more adult natured. And I thought that the tone overall was more adult tempered. X-Men 97 was like they with the time jump, you go from the early 90s to now. Here we are in 2024, right? 2023 going into 2024.
Mm-hmm.
They really, Bo DeMaio really carried over I think that they wanted X-Men 97 to really represent there to be a change in tone, more mature tone, right? To reflect the difference in time, right? Almost of our current time period culturally, and they did a good job with that. I really thought that there's a really good, but yet using the same characters from before, right? Keeping a lot of the same voice actors around, except for unfortunately the ones that passed away, which were just a couple of them, right? Or that wouldn't come back. Overall, I think me personally, I know that there's probably X-Men animated fans that would not, original fans that don't want to hear this. I think 97 really surpasses anything that the original animated ever did.
I mean, in very technical aspects, it does.
The animation perspective and all that is not even
animation is crisp. The animation's crisper, and they actually, and I was watching something on this, they actually dumbed down the animation so that it was actually very close to what the 90s version had.
To mimic it, yes.
Yeah. They could have did a lot better. They said, no, we want to get it close to that, but you could tell it was much more crisp. The storytelling, because there wasn't these heavy restrictions about children watching, they weren't selling toys.
No, the show was for adults.
It really was a scenario where we were able to get a continuation of a show without all the hoopla. Okay. In many cases, the fans like you and I, watching this stuff, we get not heard in the sense of I want to have this great story told to me with these awesome characters, etc. Let's forget about selling the toys for a second. You know what I mean? And with X-Men 97, there wasn't that worry, which allowed like literally stories to be told without that distraction. You know what I mean? And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it was a real carryover.
Yeah, it really was.
It felt like an extension of the original show almost. As much as it was possible.
Yes, I love how they used Morph for all the cameos. What a great venue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To have a shape-shifting guy who knows everybody in the Marvel universe, right? And he can mimic them at least temporarily and their powers to a point. And so we get to see the Hulk. We get to see Mr. Fantastic. We get to see Ghost Rider.
And it's so much more impactful now than it used to be back then. Like now because of the MCU effect and the superhero effect overall in the culture, when it comes to cinema and TV and all that.
Right.
People see this Easter egg stuff with more, going Hulk and all that and whatnot. And going Spiral and all that kind of stuff and whatnot. It really fires up the fan base.
But how unique that character is your avenue to showcase everybody you want in Marvel.
It's cool.
You know what I mean? It's so cool. He could be anyway. He could be Squirrel Girl.
Quicksilver. He did Quicksilver, right?
Yeah, he did Quicksilver, right. We got to actually see Polaris, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
We got to see Magic. Not in well, yeah, we did. Like Morph turned into Magic, but we saw Magic as a part of that universe.
Magic, he did. He had the sword too, didn't he, and everything?
He did. Yeah, he did. But we got to actually see her on Forge's board.
That board was awesome. We covered that for 20 minutes the other night.
Yeah. Because that is technically what your new X-Men lineup.
That's your roster.
Temporarily. Yeah. That's your roster. You know what I mean? So that was fantastic.
A lot of X Factor.
Yes.
That's what's left that's active. Is a lot of X Factor.
Forge is a great character and a great sub leader. So I'm happy that we got a little bit more into him. I think
some people think that they're going to just come back with an X Factor lineup with Forge, or something like that. And that's how it'll be. He'll form the X-Men, in X-Men 98 or whatever they're going to call the next season.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, it's a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
fantastic review, and rightfully so. Okay, I don't necessarily go by the ratings websites because it's very kilter depending on what they're rating.
But when it lines right up to what you believe is the accurate metric, right? You watch it yourself, you know what I mean? And you've consumed it, right? And it lines right up with your purview,
right?
Of the show.
My go-tos, just to go against that, is the original Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck. I did not mind it at all. I liked the movie.
I know you like Daredevil.
I do not like the fight scene between him and Elektra at the playground. I think that was stupid. But other than that, the movie was good. I love the effect that they used to show how Matt Murdock sees when they were using the rainfall. I just love the movie. The movie was poetic. And I got to tell you, for you music lovers out there, you cannot go wrong with the Daredevil soundtrack. That soundtrack is off the hook. Take it from a DJ. I'm telling you. It's off the hook. Check it out if you haven't listened to it, right?
It's because they made it in the early 2000s.
Yeah. There's a lot of great music and a lot of great bands on there. Now, the other one that gets banned on Rotten Tomatoes, Morbius. I liked Morbius. I can watch that movie all the time and always like it. Was it a fantastic movie? No, it wasn't a fantastic movie.
I didn't have a problem with it either. I had
no problem with it at all.
No, it was fine for me. I didn't really, I didn't know what the big hoopla was.
I'll tell you, if you're going to say, Dan, you have to pick out something bad about Morbius, you know what I'll pick out? The end credit scene. I'll pick out the end credit scene.
I think Morbius was better than Venom 2.
Oh, absolutely it was. Jeff, half the stuff on my network was better than Venom 2.
Yeah, Venom 2 was rough.
It was rough.
That was one of those ones where I went with a date. Back when a lot of times I would bring a date with me. I go solo more now than ever, but I used to like to go in the Facebook singles groups and stuff and whatnot before I would go to an MCU film when the MCU was more popular. And I would just say, hey, I'm going to see Ant-Man Quantumania. Does anybody want to go? You know?
Yeah.
That was one of those ones where like the movie did not help me out well with my date. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
not at all.
During the Eternals, my date fell asleep.
Oh, I almost fell asleep in the Eternals.
45 minutes she was asleep during the Eternals.
I hated that movie. I hated the characters. The fact that, and I'm not spoiling it for anybody, the fact that half of them died in the fucking movie, I was like, just stop.
I think we've even talked about the Eternals before, probably 2 years ago, I think, on the show. Well, we've talked about it before. But like, of all, it's fun, isn't it funny? The Eternals is the kind of movie you would expect somebody to fall asleep. Yeah. It really is. Like, it doesn't, really it's not surprising that somebody with it, like, that's not a hardcore fan would actually fall asleep during the Eternals.
Right. It was just a bad movie. Well, you know what it was? They did not have X-Men. The Avengers had just tied up their story, at least for now. We need another team movie. And that's what it was. And you know what? I found nothing exciting about them at all. If anything, it was insulting to me.
I don't know what Feige or whatever. I mean, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but I don't know what they saw with the Eternals or whatnot that made them.
I think it's what they had access to.
That made them think, okay, like this is going to be some for some reason this is really going to be some kind of like world beater, because they were hyping it. It was like if you saw they had it so hyped that when you watch the like reactions to people when they originally showed footage of the show and whatnot, everything and like reaction videos and shit, people are like freaking out. You know what I'm saying?
I got news for you. As bad as the Inhumans TV show was, right? And it wasn't totally horrible. Like it was watchable, right? It wasn't fantastic at all. It was just at a C- D+ level for me. But those characters and that content I thought was better than the Eternals.
The Eternals, they crammed too much into one film. It should have been done. It should have been done in a series.
I think they did, and I think the series would have been great.
They would have done it in an 8 or 9 episode series, whatever, whatnot, and spend some time with each character, kind of more. You know what I mean? Like that would have worked out better, I think.
Right, and then like you show them through time, each character. And then, like the last episode, they all meet up together.
Yeah, then you do a couple seasons of it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever,
Not even. It's like you could have as a one season, and then like you finally defeat Tiamat or whatever the fuck that guy thing was called, and you create what would be Genosha. Leading up to their X-Men,
which is stupid as fuck. Pardon my French, but I don't even like that. Freaking, I think that's dumb as hell. That concept that's potentially going to be Genosha. How that's possible? Genosha was huge. It's huge. Like if you see it in X-Men 97, Genosha is huge.
At minimal, it'll be where your adamantium will come from.
Yeah, I don't get that really either. But I guess it does. It makes sense. I guess it kind of you could make that work. It is. It is Pentiment or whatever is a celestial. So I mean, if it would make sense, you would find like rare. Metal like that from the body of the celestial or whatever. But X-Men 97 was really great.
It was.
And there were some great episodes. I mean, everyone talks about episode 5. That's all anybody ever wants to talk about is episode 5.
Is that Gambit?
When Gambit died, yeah.
Oh, that's a fantastic episode.
It is. It's a fantastic
episode.
But Motendo with Jubilee and
that was fun.
Was good.
It was fun. It was fun.
Good. And seeing the alternate, futuristic Jubilee that was like a tester, a beta tester or whatever, for like Mojo. Episode 2 with Magneto dropping those profound speeches and deal and all that.
That was great. There was a lot of great moments in this show.
That final wrap up, that 3-parter.
Wolverine getting the adamantium sucked out of his body.
That 3-part Talents Extinction, episode 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah,
all outstanding. Okay.
And you know what? Bastion was a fantastic character.
Yeah, great villain.
I loved his evolution. He looked fucking awesome in his final stage.
His final form and shit.
After he looked. I mean, even my wife had no idea who the fuck he was, but she's like, "That looks cool as shit." He said he looks like Archangel. I said, "Yeah, he does. He really does." I said, "But how cool looking is he?" I said, "That's such a great character." Right. So now from X-Men 97, there is no official talk of this. Okay. At least from Disney or Sony or anybody, but fans are hammering the internet that they want Spider-Man, the animated series, to get the same treatment, i.e., a Spider-Man 98, as an example, to give us a sixth season on, like they're doing, because X-Men was X-Men, as far as I know, guaranteed 4 more seasons, or guaranteed 4 seasons with a 5th one possible.
3, I believe.
Guaranteed. No, 4 guaranteed. I just found out last week.
Yeah,
4 guaranteed with a 5th possibility. Yeah, so they're heavily, and let me tell you, and by broadcasting standards, 5 seasons allows you to what do you call it? Syndicate. So keep that in mind as well. Now, in the realm of Disney Plus and these streaming services, I doubt we're going to see syndication of this stuff anymore.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be all proprietary.
No, I don't think that streaming services like that would let their materials.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's enough money in it being syndicated.
No, and I want to just mention, when you mentioned doing this extension of the Spider-Man show.
Yeah.
They are doing what was going to be called the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man this year.
Yes. Yeah.
It is coming out. So we are getting it is a Peter Parker.
Now, that is Tom Holland-esque. That is MCU current basic of Spider-Man. Which the animated series from the 90s was not. It's its own thing. And somebody actually said on the internet, there is no reason that they cannot have 2 Spider-Man shows airing. There's no reason.
No, it doesn't matter.
Because one's not going to feed into the other.
I just wanted to mention that they are that for I understand the Friendly Neighborhood, which they've changed the title already on it. It's not.
Yeah, wasn't it supposed to be like freshman year? And
something like that. Then it was Friendly Neighborhood, all that whatnot. It's supposed to basically be a retro of like where it's like him, as a younger Peter Parker fighting crime, and all that whatnot in New York, like on a street level basis or whatever, right? Like with a young Peter. Right.
Now, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my absolute favorite superhero. I'm tattooed up and down with him on my body. But one thing I could sit there and say is I like the animated series because they didn't make it silly. He wasn't so, like, if you compare it as an example to say the Disney XD series of Spider-Man, which would be Marvel Spider-Man, and there's a couple other ones that they had where he's with the Avengers and stuff like that. The quips and the smart aleck jokes and stuff like that, it's so tremendous that it makes the character just overwrite silly. And then, by the way, he's fighting a villain. You know what I mean? It bugged me. It distracted me from the story that I was watching. I like the more serious Spider-Man.
When you overdo that part of Spider-Man, like that balance of the comics is what works. What makes Spider-Man work is that balance,
right?
Where like he does his little jokes and whatnot and all that, right? Like he's going to come in and make a quip when he sees the Punisher. He's going to have some shitty little comment to make or whatever, whatnot to the to Punisher. But you got to have that balance to where he can still bump with the Punisher, right? And they can like team up, right? You know what I mean? And he can do his whole deal where he gets pissed off because the Punisher's killing people, and all that,
right?
Like in the comics, like with Daredevil, with Punisher. That's one thing about Spider-Man is I think you could never give people enough Spider-Man. Like you could kind of do whatever you want with it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, with the animated Spider-Man, there's such a thing as oversaturation.
With any character.
We already have what's going on with the Sony Spider-Man verse. With the Miles Morales. Those films. You know what I'm saying? Like
Miles Morales, though, I will say this: that character has been mishandled from the very beginning.
But those movies are good.
The movies are good. No, the movies are good. I ain't gonna lie, the movies are good. The problem I have with this, and I'll spell it out, and we're not going to stay on this tangent, right? But Miles Morales was created to show that anybody can be under that mask, right? And so this was the writers and the creators to show that a minority could have that power and do all the stuff like that, like giving a minority to say, hey, you can be inspired, so and so forth, and you could be a hero and blah blah blah. It's not just white people or blah blah blah, right? So I'm like, that's cool, right?
Yeah,
But
the notion is a good one.
the notion is great, but he's fighting all of Peter Parker's villains. It's and they make Miles a black Peter Parker. And what I mean by that is that his personality is exactly the same. He does the same jokes. He does everything. I would want a more brooding Miles Morales. If you're going to give me a minority, and I'm not trying to stereotype, I'm just putting this out there. I'm not trying to stereotype. But for me, if you gave me a minority kid who has a certain perception of the world, right? And you can and now in this world that we live in, they like to bring a lot of real life issues into stuff anyway, right? So why not have this kid who maybe doesn't think that he has a fair leg up, right? Maybe he feels like instead of trusting the police, he has to fear them a little bit because of his skin color. You know what I mean? Like this is real life shit, right?
A la Falcon Winter Soldier.
Right. And he has to now, because he has these powers, learn this lesson that with great power comes great responsibility. And not everything is exactly the way it seems. There are exceptions to everything. And he has, and you go on this growth journey with this new Spider-Man, right? As a individual and as a hero, right? And give him new fucking villains. And you know why I say you could do that? Batman Beyond, for the most part, had all new villains. He didn't have, well, based on the show, like most of Bruce Wayne's villains were dead or in a wheelchair or something. You know what I mean? Like something like that. But Batman Beyond had all new villains. Why can't Miles Morales Spider-Man have new villains, right? My other thing is they put him animated wise, they put Miles with Peter all the time in multiple shows. And he comes off like a sidekick. So you just already lessened the impact of this fucking new Spider-Man that you're trying to put out there. And like he's not on his own. It's still Peter's still in the limelight.
Well, that's because that's because he's always going to be the youthful Spider-Man versus the more experienced Spider-Man and the Peter Parker, you know what I'm saying? Dynamic, right?
Well,
like
in the movies, it's definitely different because there's definitely an age difference. But when you talk about the cartoons, if you go to like the Marvel Spider-Man, where Miles is in that, they're only maybe 2-3 years difference.
no, in the Sony Spider-Verse movies and whatnot, which honestly,
there's a big difference in the Sony, yeah.
Oh yeah, the original Peter Parker in that universe, in the multiverse,
yeah,
is like has a kid, right?
Right.
Like so he's married and has a kid and all that with Mary Jane and all that.
But on Sony XD, right, on Marvel Spider-Man, where he comes in, when he comes in, he's only a couple years younger than Peter. So they're more on a peer level than this level. So they look like they could be like best friends in a sense. And it distracted me because now you have they even fucked it up where the kid when Miles came over to this other universe to be with Peter, right? He ended up changing his name to Kid Arachnid from Spider-Man because there's already a Spider-Man there. And I'm like, all right, so now he's 100% now a fucking sidekick. You know what I mean? One other thing on this tangent before I fucking come back to you is that the more spider people there are, the more pissed off I get because I think it really lessens the uniqueness of Spider-Man.
Well, it depends on what the way you're going. Like if you're talking about the Spider-Verse movies, they're based on the concept of like where they have the whole realm of Spider-Mans. You know what I mean? Like where it's all the alternate Spider-Mans, right? Like the multiverse angle that works. Like that,
I like a multiverse. I like a multiverse. I don't like the totem. You know what I'm talking about? Like with Ezekiel Sims.
Yeah,
like the
Madam Web stuff and all that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that because it just makes Peter not unique anymore. Peter's one strand in a web,
Yes,
right?
yeah, I get what you mean.
Versus the multiverse. Yeah, there's other Spider people.
It's too meta.
Cool.
It's too meta.
Right,
It's
exactly.
way too meta for Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's like
Exactly.
way too meta for Spider-Man to go in that direction. That's almost like going in like a supernatural direction. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like some Midnight Suns, like Ghost Rider kind of shit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, and that just doesn't really fit for Spider-Man.
Right. So, like, I'm excited for Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I'm hoping that Spider-Man 98, quote unquote, does get some kind of greenlit. I think as good as X-Men is doing, there is a possibility. You can't say no.
We don't know what the ramifications of the success of X-Men 97 are in terms of what benefits it reaped.
And you know what?
Marvel and Disney reaped from it. Like, did the subscribers go up or something or anything like that? Whatnot because of it? You know what I mean? Like, you know, did they make money at all in any way from it, off of it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you without knowing these things, right? Like, it's hard to know.
And you know what though? I don't think they realized that they were capping lightning in a bottle. I don't think they realized it. I think they knew they had a quality show that they were going to produce, but I don't think they knew or realized how well received it was going to be. And it was well received. If you did not like X-Men 97, I'll have words with you.
I've got to go out on YouTube and actually sit down one of these days and actually just go on and see what all the big YouTubers have said about X-Men 97 overall.
Well,
like, you know what I mean? Like the critical drinker types, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to see what they I want to hear what they had to say about it. You know what I'm saying? Because,
I would suggest some of my favorite YouTube sources to go to: New Rock Stars.
Oh yeah, I use New Rock Stars during our X-Men 97 reviews. I use them for research material.
New Rock Stars gives you some great information.
Great
insight. Go to the break room. Watch the break room.
No, I do my outline and whatnot. When I watch the episode, I outline the episode, and then when I watch their breakdown, right, or whatever, you know, or one of the other ones, Screen Crush or whoever. Mm-hmm. When I watch theirs, that do where they have all the Easter eggs and the cameo stuff and all that. That's where I come in with them, and that's why when I jot all that down in my outline.
And then also Everything Always.
Oh yeah,
another one.
The Cosmic Wonder is one of my favorites too. I like
Cosmic Wonder is great as well. Yes.
Yeah, he does a lot.
So I do recommend checking out. They have a lot of great content out there with a lot of background information. The information that Jeff's talking about, like as far as like how well.
They keep you. They'll keep you up to date without question. But no, what I mean is more in terms of. You know, within the space of covering the series on the bleeding edge, and then, for instance, I'm sitting there doing a Shogun season 1 recap the other day, right? You know, and we had a guest on from the Royal Geek podcast, Amato, say like that. You know, outside of Shogun, when I was talking about how I think Shogun is going to sweep the Emmys and all this shit, and whatnot, right?
Right.
Like less House of the Dragon, like really kills it or whatever, right? Like I don't really see what competition Shogun has, kind of. You know, this year, like, you know, in terms of the best series of the, you know, one of the top TV series of the year, he threw X-Men 97 out there, you know, animated or not, and said, you know, X-Men 97 should be held up as one of the top TV series of the year. And I'm like, I agree. I agree because the writing is really the key. Awesome. The animation, I mean, especially during the action scenes, the animation, they up the ante, but still the writing is what really like kills it. It's what carries it. Really kind of carries the.
And if you are somebody that really got into it in the 90s, right? The really cool thing about some of the other stuff that we didn't mention about X-Men 97 were the throwback to all the 90s, like the Iron Man cameo. That armor is from the 90s TV show.
Yeah, they tried to stick to that era.
Right.
To lock in that, you know, that 90s feel.
Captain America, believe it or not, there were talks and a proposed seasonal TV show for Captain America, the first Avenger. And it was like an animated series. And there was a guy years ago, he actually had a proposed 5-season multiple episode layout for 5 seasons. This is how I would do it, blah, blah, blah. And it was fucking fantastic. It was a great storytelling this guy did. He was like a writer. And we just never got a Captain America series, but like all that stuff that you saw was very nostalgic to that time period. And it was just great storytelling. And I think what I find frustrating nowadays is they feel the need to dumb everything down. They feel the need to have like children relating to it.
Dodger hey.
Dodger feels as like passionate about this as I am.
I have no idea what the hell's going on.
He's pissed.
Somebody's walking around outside or something. I don't know.
Dodger's pissed. No, but my point is like I don't feel with a lot of these serious cartoons we need a child antagonist or protagonist in a sense. I don't think we don't need the viewer to have to relate. You know what I mean?
Well, to stick to Captain America for a minute, I love Captain America and X-Men 97. I love that Rogue episode. Yeah. Seeing them together, you know, like with Rogue acknowledging that they knew each other, that they'd already seen each other before. It was obvious that they knew each other, right? Like, you know, seeing that interactivity, right? Of like, you know, okay, these people know each other, right? It's Captain America. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, seeing pissed off Rogue was cool too.
Yes, she was.
But that was our best cameo from X-Men 97. Hopefully, then when they do the next season, we'll get another really good one or something. You know.
Now if you notice, there was, and a lot of fans were bitching about this. The very limited Wolverine. Now, what I heard through the writers,
I thought they balanced it pretty well.
I thought they did too. But what I heard through the writers was that the 5 seasons of the 90s series was very heavily, and it was heavily Wolverine. Okay.
It was, yeah.
Wolverine was fucking the shit of every single episode.
It's because Wolverine was so popular during that time period in the comics.
Right. So they wanted to give everybody else a option to shine. Now, my other side of it is Cal Dobbs could have been like, yeah, you know what? I'm fucking like 99 years old. Let me do a couple lines and let me get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like he might.
They crammed a lot into that season. I mean, just the fact that I was a little scared at first because they crammed like 3 or 4 heavy storylines into like the first 5 episodes.
They did it well,
whatever, right? Like it was a lot. You know what I mean? Like they did the Madeline Pryor stuff. In the comics, that stuff spread over like 30, 40 like issues of the comic, right? The whole Madeline Pryor thing. Right. They did it in 3 episodes. Right.
Well, keep in mind though too that what you just said is something that comes up with movies and stuff like that. And Todd McFarlane said, like when he made the original Spawn movie, he said, you know, you're not going to get everything in the movie because it's hard to fit 5 years of comics.
Oh yeah,
into 90 minutes. Not going to happen, right? But you need to understand that we don't have 105 episodes to get through a storyline. You know what I mean? Like we have a schedule. And so therefore, and I thought they did a fantastic job.
They did a great job. They did a great
getting
job.
To the point, get the point across and be out there. It does not have to be exactly like
and they weaved it all well too. They weaved it all well to where like when we saw they did a great job of keeping Madeline around.
Yes.
Right. And then allowing that there to be a relationship almost between Madeline and respect between Madeline and Jean, which I thought was really great to see. There were some great Jean moments in X-Men 97. Jean in that last episode going Phoenix mode. I don't know how the fuck that even works. I don't get all that.
Yeah, it was a little stretch. I know.
But still, though, it was great. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was really good. And
I also loved that the original voice of Gambit from the 90s was the voice of Cable in 97.
Oh, okay.
So, that I thought was great to bring it because he's a great actor.
Cable was a great addition. That it was very. I cried several times for X-Men 97, and it was very emotional seeing Jean and Scott with Cable with Nathan when they astral or whatever projected to with him or whatever whatnot.
Yeah, that was a very touching scene. I think the most heart wrenching though was Gambit's death. I think that scene. I was so proud of him in a sense. You know what I mean? Because he had an arc in a sense of being like you're just a swamp rat.
He had made that said that line before in the original X-Men animated series that like the name is Gambit. Remember it.
Remember it. Yeah.
He said it before.
And the thing was like to say, oh, you're just a swamp rat. You're just you don't care about nothing. You're basically calling the guy a bum.
Oh, Nightcrawler's eulogy during his funeral was like poetic like excellence.
But to see Gambit take charge.
What about Nightcrawler? They brought Nightcrawler in.
Nightcrawler was great, and I think they did a great. That's the original voice of Nightcrawler.
It is too. Yeah, the original voice.
Which, just for a good point of reference, in X2, the guy that plays Nightcrawler was Bobby Drake's father in the live action X2 movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So when they tell Bobby's parents that he's a mutant, she's like, well, can't you be not a mutant? Like she does that line or whatever. The father, that's the guy that played Nightcrawler in the 90s series. So there's a lot of like weird cameos throughout
I thought he added a lot to the team in X-Men 97. I really did. I thought he was a great addition.
And you know what though? I like that they didn't shy away from his religious background.
Yeah, they never have.
And I love that they kept it. They didn't dumb it down. They didn't back it up because of fear of offending somebody. He's a very religious character, and and that's what makes him unique, because it's the contradiction of what he appears to be. He appears to be a devil, but he's really in the worshiping of the Lord, in a sense. So it's like, once again, and it goes down to all X-Men, don't judge a book by its cover. And that's what the bottom line is. And that's another exclamation point on that thing, which makes X-Men such a fantastic.
You remember the original animated when Wolverine comes to God and all that whatnot through Nightcrawler and that run and whatnot. That was deep. Like for the early 90s, like Logan's he's in the church in the pew and whatnot at the end of the episode, like talking to God and everything.
I think Angel was in that too, right? It was in that episode.
He might have been, yeah, but yeah, it was mostly Logan. It was a Logan and Jesus moment. It was when they saved Nightcrawler, him and Rogue. With all the villagers like attacked the monastery or whatever, all that shit, whatnot.
Right. No, I think it's great. Now, but like I said, I hope we get a Spider-Man take on the night. Like, we don't need to go crazy and say, all right, now everything from the 90s, let's remake it. We don't need to do that.
No,
but if you watch the shows back then, right? X-Men and Spider-Man the Animated Series were the two shows you watched from Marvel. They were the two shows. So for them to say, hey, let's do it for Spider-Man as well and bring that cast back as much as we could, by all means, I think that would be another hit.
Marvel Studios is going in an animated direction. They are. There's going to be less live action Disney Plus series for now on, and there's going to be more animated series. That's how it's going to be.
And you know what? They need to jump on that, because, like, if you compare them to DC was always awesome with their animated
they were already heading this way before they did. X-Men 97 even ended and all that. They were already heading in a direction where they already had Marvel Zombies coming out this year at some point still, right? They've done the What If, right? Which will whatever.
Which I got news for you. This was 5 times better than What If.
Oh, What If season 2 was terrible,
horrible. I couldn't. Jeff, I couldn't get through it.
Those reviews were tough. Those were like one of the. It was like
I watched the first couple episodes and I was like, nope, I can't get through it.
Like reviewing Willow, it was rough. You know what I'm saying?
When you sit there and you're Marvel, and you're going to tell me a story about Jean Grey's brother's former roommate, I don't fucking care. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I don't like Echo. Echo is a horrible fucking series. Series, and it was not needed.
It pissed me off because the trailers were so good. The trailers were outstanding. So
and they were better than the show.
So yeah, that
Yeah,
pissed me off. I
yeah.
don't like that. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like, don't show me the shit in the trailer, right?
And you know what though? My understanding, this goes along with what's new with Marvel.
But you heard about all the stuff that went down with Echo's production and whatnot and everything. They cut episodes out of the series, right?
They
Like,
could
you know
have
what I
cut.
mean?
Let me tell you something. They could have cut every fucking episode because I hated
But
that.
seriously though, there were problems with production, and they cut the budget during the show. They cut the budget
because
before it even came out. They cut the budget
because it fucking sucked.
It did have some issues.
Somebody realized it too late in the game, and they said the show fucking sucks.
It could have been better.
Now, things
the glowing hands, like give grandma the juice shit, did not have to happen, baby.
Fucking so stupid. I wanted to blow up that entire all to have Kingpin at the end say,
and then she doms Kingpin. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like just like Daredevil got domed by She-Hulk. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I liked She-Hulk better than I liked Echo. She-Hulk I thought was a fun show to watch. I laughed. I was like, what are you trying to get out of it? Because I wasn't trying to get anything out of She-Hulk other than what I got out of it. And therefore I wasn't disappointed.
I just didn't like the man bashing.
It's a fucking girl show. What are you gonna do?
I didn't like the man bashing.
I don't like man bashing either. It
was out of hand, man.
I don't like it either, but it's a feminist show.
And it got political though. You know that. I
don't like anything political. Yeah.
No, but we had there was a lot of division during that series over by us. You know, when we covered that, I had some losses to the team and whatnot over that show. Right. Which
over that show.
Yeah, because of the politics.
You know what I mean?
Because it brought politics into the MCU for the first time.
But now, what was originally heavily rumored to be cut, and now is getting greenlit, Vision Quest.
Yep.
I'm not excited about it.
Armor Wars is still alive. They're still
Armor Wars is still alive. I mean, I'm waiting to see. I have nothing in my head about Armor Wars.
It's if you believe these, you know, these Twitter sources, these X sources that are you know known, you know them from Cosmic Wonder and everything always, right? My Time to Shine, hello, and all that, you know, and Daniel RPK. If you believe them, right? Like, you know, they're usually right, you know. Then they are doing Armor Wars. It's still, no. As
far as I know, they are. But they're doing Vision Quest.
Yeah,
I'm not really into it. I don't think Vision is that great of a character for me to have a series on Vision alone. Okay.
I thought they were going to do. I thought the whole plan with that was going to be they were going to try to do it as like a way to bring in the Young Avengers. You know what I'm saying? Not
and I don't fucking want them either.
It's coming. It's already pretty much, you know, a done deal.
Jeff, kill those kids. I don't want them.
Supposedly they're going to start shooting it tomorrow, next year, 2025.
Did you say tomorrow?
2025 in the UK. For some reason, Marvel is switching all of its production over to the UK.
The one that I really was like, no, kill it.
Fantastic Four is getting shot in the UK.
Yeah, I know it is. Well, in a lot of cases, it's cheaper. That's why. But the other one that's getting greenlit, which I was like, why, is Ironheart. I have not.
Yeah, they're keeping Ironheart. Yeah, well, they already shot it. It's already over. It's done. It's already in the can. All the tape is done. They've already shot the whole thing.
Hate the character. Hate the actress, hate the whole concept of Ironheart. Not because she's a girl.
Nobody asked for Ironheart.
Nobody asked for it at all. Now, if you want to say, Dan, well, what would you do? Give me Rescue, which was Pepper Potts. It's a more likable character.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of, you know, I mean, look at my wall. I mean, look around me. Look, all you see is female characters. Scarlet Witch is right there. There's Sylvie, right? Like, you know, I've got. I mean, here I've got, you know, I've got Mon Mothma from Andor's right there. You know,
there is nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, folks, be whatever you want to be, but you're not going to be Tony Stark because he's got it over you." There's nothing wrong with that. That's what life is. You can't be better than everybody else. And Ironheart, they make that character like she's the next Tony Stark.
I just can't stand that. I can't stand when you see these assholes online, these dudes gatekeeping or whatever, whatnot, like trying to defend women. Where if you bash any female character, right, like then you're automatically some kind of chauvinist or something like that or whatever, whatnot. You're in that. You get stuck in that box. I don't like that at all. It's not fair because look behind me. It's all women. These are all women. This Band-Aid poster, those are 5 women that play fucking rock and roll, right?
Like it's the same reason why I stopped watching Batwoman, because when they got rid of what's her name, because she left. It's not that they got rid of her.
When I like
Ruby-
you and you're a good female character, I'm going to buy
Yeah,
your
I'm gonna buy behind it. Yeah.
I'll buy your shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I like your shit.
But be good. Be good though. Don't
Yeah.
be don't be shoved down my throat because let me tell you something. When Ruby Rose left, right? And they were staying true to the character because the character's a lesbian in the comics, etc. Blah 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 blah. Right. So they get this made for TV character to take her place, Ryan. Right. They did the trifecta, Jeff. They said, wait a minute, we have a lesbian who's a female, because obviously a lesbian's a female.
And black.
And she's black. We hit the trifecta. We now have wokeism in a sense. And I was like, stop. Could you be any more down my fucking
That was
throat?
that was the one where they made the show and then they just threw it in the garbage, right?
Oh, it's horrible. Yeah, they did one more. They did 2 seasons with her, and then it was done.
Oh, they did do 2 seasons?
Yeah, they did because it was 3 seasons total.
Oh my god.
They did 2 seasons with her, and it was
I heard
like
it was rough.
good.
I heard it was rough.
Dude, rough isn't even a fucking word for it. It was horrible, horrible, right? But I was like, I would have liked it if they did like Ruby Rose gets out and they get a new Batwoman, and she's like, oh, I like dudes. I'm like a complete slut.
I don't
I
don't like Ruby Rose.
I did. No, I did. I liked her a lot in the role. She fit the character as per the comic, which was kind of cool. Like with me, and I'm not a huge comic book reader. Okay, I don't want to give that persona, right?
I'm not either. Not now.
But for me, if the character is A, B, and C, right? Let the character be A, B, and C. I don't need the character to be A, B, C, D, E. Just for the hell of it. I don't like when they play around with shit like that. Hey, guess what? It just so happens there wasn't a black Batman, so guess what? There shouldn't be a black Batman.
Well, I mean, look at X-Men 97.
I'm not trying to be racist, but you understand what I'm saying? Like,
no, look at X-Men 97. Like when I first found out that they were going to have Morph be non-binary, I got pissed.
At first, I did get pissed.
I got lit and went in the chat, the private chat, the videos chat, and went off about it and got into it with like several different people and got into it like heavy.
But
like,
you know what though? But you know what though? The way they made the character though,
it never even came up in the show. So
no, it really didn't. But the way they made that character though, it really super made sense, and it made people.
Yes,
in real life.
If non-binary was a real thing, right? Like
you would be Morph.
Morph would be the perfect manifestation of non-binary. Yes,
and if you're in real life and you're saying you're non-binary, be like, watch Morph, dude. You're not you're not non-binary.
Morph should not trump the fact that non-binary is not scientifically real. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like if non-binary was a thing, it would be Morph. You know what I mean? And it's like until you get flip-flop back and forth, guess what? You're either one or the other.
I get the joke, Danny. I get the joke of what you're saying. I get what you're trying to say. That like Morph's is a made up entity. You know what I mean? Like so like connecting it to non-binary kind of like
you know what I mean? I was like,
I get
that's
it,
what non-binary is.
Yeah.
Raven Simone, and not to get on this because it has nothing to do with comics, but I just watched a thing today. Raven Simone, who's like That's So Raven on Disney and stuff like that. She really impressed me. She is in real life, she's a gay black woman, right? And Disney went to her and said, "Hey, when they brought back Raven, right? That's So Raven," and they said we want the character to be gay, and she's like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, they're like, well, you're gay." And she's like, so, but Raven, the character, is not gay. So why should she be gay?
Yeah,
she said, you know what I mean? And I was like, good for you. Like people don't have to be these smart buttons. People don't have to be these hot topics. You know what I mean? And she actually said, and I really applauded her for saying it. She said, you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm black, right? And I'm gay, but I don't buy into labels. I'm an American woman. I'm not an African American woman. I'm an American woman.
Oh, I like that too. Yeah.
And I say, and fucking, what's her face? Oprah Winfrey. Oh my God. Oh, you're gonna get a lot of flack. Like Queen of the Black people, right? Like her. I can't stand her. And Raven said, no, I don't care what flack I get. I'm an American. I'm from Louisiana, and I have many things in my bloodline, just like anybody else. And America is a land full of color. It's not one color or another, right? So she said, so I'm an American. I'm not an African American. And I said, good for you. Good for you. Not because she wasn't going against black people. She was going against labels, and she was going against like forcing stuff down your throat. You don't need that.
No,
because,
there's enough gay representation and LGBT representation across the board in pop culture and entertainment and all that and whatnot. Right. Let's be out. Things should be realistic. Like, you know, and I would say this right in front of Jermaine, one of my gay guests in the Leading Edge, if he was here right now, or whatever, right now, because I know he would have no problem with it.
Right.
The fact of the matter is that the percentage of the U.S. population that is homosexual, right, or makes up the LGBT, you know, community, right, is a small percentage of the U.S. population. It's
literally. I mean, you know, there's people that don't say nothing. I mean, it could be a lot bigger than what we think.
I'm just saying, if you go by what they say, if you go by the you know the numbers they put out there, but you know, it's 5% of the population.
Jeff, you know what all these labels do? First, I always make this joke. I have a friend who's gay, and I love him to death. And I said to him, I said, LGBTQ plus. I said, there's too many letters. Doesn't it all mean you're gay? I said, there's not a straight person in there. And he starts laughing. I said, no, there's not a straight person, right? Because I mean, they're all gay. I said, you have just 8 different words for gay. And he's like, well, no, there's this. And like, I'm joking with him, right? But I said, let me tell you something. Having these categories, I'm queer, I'm trans, I'm non-binary, I'm this, I'm that. All it does is separate you instead, and it doesn't bring you together.
Oh, I know that,
and that's my thing.
I'm very aware, and that's why that block caters to the left, to the, you know, to the, not the political, but that's why they're, you know, and the left caters to them. You know what I mean? You know,
I will treat you as like you're an asshole if you're an asshole, whether you're gay, straight, or indifferent. I don't fucking care.
No,
and that's my bottom line. I don't believe in these labels. We all bleed the same blood. We're not aliens. And if people want to end racism and bigotry and separation and stuff like that, stop creating walls.
No, hey, listen. When on the Bleeding Edge, when we have trans people on and gay people, I bust their balls just like everybody else.
When was the last time you had a trans person on the Bleeding Edge?
Jasmine said Jasmine the tranny. You remember?
No, was I on that show?
No, but we used to have a transgender guest. We used to. You met Jasmine. She used to be on the show all the time. She was a guest on the show for probably like a year.
Oh, good for her. And I think that's fantastic. I support everybody. I'm like, everybody.
Oh, you were on the show, probably never even realized she was trans.
I had no idea. I don't. Yeah, you know why, Jeff? Because I don't fucking give a shit.
Well, she's that feminine looking though. She.
I mean, Jeff, if you came out like if you were to put a dress on, you got that fucking beard around your chin. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like, I mean,
I wish I had my videos. I've got a bearded lady video on my stream.
Yeah. I saw
play right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you saw that video?
Yeah, I did. You posted it in the chat. But
it's funny, right?
But like now,
they're playing that profound music and everything and whatnot. And the girl's like, "No one's gonna marry you, Herman. You have a beard."
Now, quickly moving on, because we're gonna run out of showtime. Quickly moving on, the Fantastic Four. Yeah. I, for one, am excited. Not overly excited, but I'm excited to get MCU's take on, to get Kevin Feige's take on the Fantastic Four. The announcement of Giancarlo. What the hell's the guy's name? Giancarlo. The black guy. He's in a show on TNT right now where he's a driver.
Oh, Giancarlo Esposito or whatever.
Giancarlo Esposito. Yes, he's a great actor, right? He's either playing, and I don't know if there's confirmations yet, but as of a couple days ago, and people, if you know different than what I'm saying, comment it downstairs. He's either going to play Dr. Doom or Harry or Norman Osborn
or Kang.
I don't think he's going to be Kang. I don't think he's going to be Kang. I think they said he's either going to be Norman Osborn or Dr. Doom. And either way they go, I'm like, let's fucking go with it. Let's go with it. Because now you bring him in as Norman Osborn. There's so many guys you could bring in as Harry Osborn, right? And the Osborn family. Now here's a character. It doesn't matter if he's white, black, Chinese. It doesn't matter, right? Dr. Doom Well, he's supposed to be from Latveria. I think he's gonna stretch a little bit. But
I don't care if you race swap Doctor Doom. I don't care.
no, I really don't, because this guy. When they said that, I said, "Oh, I could picture this guy being Doctor Doom, really, really well."
But he's 60 years old though, and Doctor Doom shouldn't. I don't see why you want to have our Doctor Doom be a 60-year-old actor.
Well, they're not showing their license in the movie. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, no, he'll have a mask on and all that kind of shit.
I don't look my age. You know what I mean? I'm a lot older than you. I don't look my age.
I don't look my age either. I'm old. That's what people tell me.
No, I don't look my age at all, and which is great. I thank you, Lord. You know, until I hit the wall,
the Fantastic Four it looks pretty impressive what they've got put together so far. You got Shackman's going to direct the movie from WandaVision. Yeah. Right. He did a good job with WandaVision.
He did.
You know, and then you've got you got Pedro.
I love him. I love him.
I like Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Joseph Quinn for Johnny Storm, then the Ebon Moss-Bachrach from The Bear and Ben Grimm. And they just signed up Ralph Ineson to play Galactus. Yeah. And Natasha Lyonne is going to be played some character, and then John Malkovich too.
Yeah. Oh, she's going to be the female version of the Silver Surfer.
No, that's Julia Garner. She's going to play Shala Bell.
Julia Garner. Okay. Yeah.
Natasha Lyonne is going to be some side character.
Yeah, you can imagine who she might be. It might even just be a normal human.
Yeah, you have to have those characters in there too. That's what I think. John Malkovich is saying he could either be Mole Man or
I did see that he could be Mole Man. I'm like, that would be kind of cool. But John Malkovich is a great actor.
Yeah, he's a great addition to the cast, no matter what they do.
Absolutely, dude. Let him be anything. Who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Like I don't care. But I'm excited for it. And for those out there that like animated, right? On Disney Plus, it is there. Check out the from the 2000s. It was the Fantastic Four. I want to say it was 2 seasons. I think it's got like an anime look to it, and it's got a great styling. It's heavy hitting. It's just the right amount of comedy versus seriousness. The Fantastic Four, I want to say it was from 2000, either 2000 or 1999, something like that. But it's on Disney Plus. Check that out, dude. You will like it. You will love it. You'll be like, oh yeah, this is really fat. It was really fat.
I'm liking and loving the fact that they have the more that they cast the movie and everything and whatnot, it just makes it makes it more tangible that they're going to be ready to start shooting soon. You know what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's good. I want to see the camera start rolling.
Which leads us to Blade. Now, unfortunately, Blade, I don't think that's ever fucking going to happen.
No, it's going to come out. They're saying they're going to push it back again. They're going to swap in Spider-Man 4 for that in that slot, right? And rush Spider-Man 4 a little bit more and put that in slot.
In all honesty, Jeff, think about this for a second. Now, you saw the 3 Wesley Snipes Blades, right? Okay. Now, other than the Midnight Suns, right? Other than the Midnight Suns, what could you do with Blade in a movie now, other than rehash what you already did?
But that's the thing; they should rehash. All you got to do with Blade is just do like a Wesley Snipes type Blade film, like the original.
But then you're getting into the fact of there's no original story. We're just watching something that they did 30 years ago. Blah blah blah, and then you start comparing Wesley Snipes to Mahershala Ali, and he was better, or no, he was better. It starts pulling you away from, did I enjoy the movie?
Well, I just want to see the damn movie. I want to see Mahershala
Ali. I know.
I want to see Mahershala Ali play Blade. He's a great character, right?
But see, like with the original series, like the first movie,
it shouldn't be that hard for them to figure out how to make this happen.
No, it shouldn't.
It shouldn't take this long.
Well, the first movie was superhero-esque movie. The second movie, and this is why I loved it so much, was horror-based. And not to say that the whole movie wasn't horror-based, but you watch the first movie, you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely
the first movie is a supernatural superhero action
flick.
Yes.
But the second movie was definitely 100% a horror-based movie. And I said, I love that they did that with this. It's not that it was subtle, you know what I mean? You backed up the superhero vibe.
They went more of a supernatural direction. When you go supernatural, you're going to have horror.
Right. And honestly, dude, let me tell you something. I think it would be a breath of fresh air if the MCU just
Well,
for
that's
a
why they
couple
need Blade.
movies.
If they would do Blade, supposedly right after Blade comes Midnight Suns.
I think if they did Blade, Midnight Suns, did Marvel Zombies, just as one off, like they could be like in that dark universe or whatever, just to get us like say off the recharge from the superhero stuff.
But don't you want the connectivity of having Blade in the MCU and all that and whatnot? Don't you want to
Well,
have Ghost Rider in the MCU?
I don't fucking think I need it.
I want to see those characters be able
I
to.
mean, I want to see them do their thing, right? But I don't think Ghost Rider needs to fight around with Spider-Man or Captain America or Iron Man. I don't
Well,
think there's a need.
they're probably not going. There won't be enough.
It won't be that. I mean, it's not going to happen.
There's
I'm
not
just
enough
saying.
space for them to make that really work. But in the comics, it happens,
But
right?
you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't think like on their own, doing their own thing, Man Thing, Ghost Rider, Blade, Morbius, even, right? Like, I think doing their thing and fighting these supernatural, these ugly things that the rest of the world doesn't see or whatever.
I want
I
to see
think
that.
that's great.
I want to see it in the MCU. I want to see the MCU to have. I want them to have their
If
own
if
wing of a monster
right,
verse
if
MCU.
Thanos, right, if Thanos came back, I don't need Blade and Ghost Rider fighting Thanos. If that makes
No,
sense.
no, they should be fighting Lilith and Mephisto and like all those villains that come from their comics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like demons and shit, whatnot.
and
Dracula should be in
yeah,
a Blade film. You know what I'm saying? Like Dracula
yeah,
should be there, right? Like
right,
vampires, right? Like
yeah.
werewolves and stuff like that, whatnot. Werewolf by Night,
Werewolf
right?
by Night, right? Man Thing, like this. These are
Werewolf by
a lot of,
Night was great.
oh, I loved it. Oh, I'm a werewolf guy in horror. That's my thing.
That Laura Donnelly or
My
whatever,
Spider-Man.
whatnot, that played the female character.
Yes,
I forgot her name. The
I
title.
forget her name. Yeah, I
But she
know.
was great. She was
She
great.
was. She was.
She's supposed to be a part of the whole Midnight Suns deal too.
And then I just think like you said, going that route, they're not fighting these super villains. These are these monsters that are like that nobody else knows about. Like Captain America doesn't know about this stuff. This is the stuff we do. We're the night crew. You know what I mean? In a sense,
That's why you had the Midnight Suns.
right? And I think that I think,
But even they interact with Doctor Strange. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
and Doctor Strange would fit in with
he
that.
puts the team together.
Yeah, I think Doctor Strange would fit into that, and I think a good Doctor Strange 3 would be fantastic for that to start molding that together.
It's eventually coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi 2 is going to come out. I don't know what you thought about Shang-Chi, but it was all
I
right.
liked it, but it was a one-off. I don't need him in the Avengers or any of that bullshit.
Yeah.
As a one-off movie, I don't need him in the MCU. But I thought that as a one-off movie, I thought the movie was really good. I liked it.
He's going to be on the Avengers team.
Why? It's like me being. Jeff. By the way, I'm going to be on the Avengers team. That's what it seems like to me. Like we don't need to throw everybody on that fucking.
They
team.
set it up with the end credit scene, kind of like
They said every.
Elsa Bloodstone is that Laura Donnelly character, is the character she played.
Thank you. Yes. Very cool character. Now that leaves us where we're going to end off with Agatha.
Yeah.
That's going to be an interesting series. She was very entertaining to watch in WandaVision.
Yeah. Great addition to WandaVision.
I think getting into her thing and if she's going to expand, and then once again you get into that dark realm and get into the Midnight Suns where they're now fighting witchcraft and stuff like that. Why not? You know what I mean?
She falls right in that territory. Yes.
Yeah, I think setting us up for it doesn't have to be 10 years, but setting us up for a run of MonsterVerse MCU, I think would be very refreshing.
It could be good for the MCU.
I think it would. I really think it could.
It'd be a breath of fresh air, kind of like the animated stuff. Just a nice change of pace.
And then once we get through that, and we get a good X-Men movie, now we're like, oh, now we're back into superheroes. Like it's like running a race, stopping for a few minutes, taking a drink of water. And now, all right, now I'm refreshed. Let me run again. It'll be
nice to see them go in like the Witches Row direction from the comics and Agatha, where they're gonna have flashbacks of her becoming a witch and things like that and whatnot.
Right.
The ties with Scarlet Witch and all that, flushing out the witches and all that and whatnot. That does all fit into the supernatural realm of the MCU. It does.
I really think it does. No, I think
Agatha kind of crosses over. She crosses lines into like different territories, kind of, you know.
right.
But I'm hyped for the series. I mean, you know, it seems like it's going to be solid. We'll be
I am.
reviewing it, so you know, like it should
Definitely
be.
hyped for it.
Hopefully, it'll be good. You don't want to review a shitty show.
Oh, I know. Like Echo.
Yeah. There's a reason we crammed the first 3 episodes of Echo into one show.
Yeah.
For the last 3, we put them
we
in
watched
one
the
show.
first 3 episodes and we turned this shit off.
We did 2 episodes. And I was like, you know what, guys, we're gonna do the last 3 episodes in one show. We're not wasting 3 whole nights of our lives on this. It's not happening.
Yeah. As much as I liked it, I did 1 episode of She-Hulk, and I was like, you know what? I don't even want to do this. I was like, I did 1 episode.
I was hanging in there for like.
I watched the whole thing, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it enough to talk about it on my network.
Yeah,
that's what it came down to.
I found it entertaining to talk about for like the first 3 episodes, and then it started getting really rough.
Guys, check us out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure I'm doing all kinds of stuff here while I'm talking to you. Make sure you do all that stuff. Go to the MCU's Bleeding Edge. Make sure you check that out there. That's my network link right there, www.djbproductionsnetwork.com. Please jump on, subscribe, and tell your friends and share the channel. Go to the MCU's Bleeding Edge and check out Jeff and his crazy crew of people that come on that show, and they talk about all kinds of crazy stuff. He's got so many different shows he's doing, and a lot of great reviews on there as well. You can always see him on Facebook, there's an MCU's Bleeding Edge fan page, as well as the MCU's Bleeding Edge on YouTube as well. You can check that stuff there. Jeff has a lot of great stuff. You want to check that. And obviously you can check him out right here on Capes Not Included as well. We'll have these up on the Facebooks. We'll have this up on the YouTube channel where you can go ahead and watch it. But we ask you to please share the channel, share the episode. We're trying to get as many views as we can. We're trying to get our subscriptions up as well. We're doing it very organically. So for those of you out there to say, oh, well, your subscriptions are kind of low, it's because I'm not paying to get subscribers. My subscribers I have are organic. They are true. They are real subscribers, people that like the content that we do. And I invite you to do the same. I don't inundate everybody out there. I always put out stuff just a little bit here and there, month to month, to give you something to watch. And my channel, Jeff will tell you, is a kind of a unique thing because I have multiple things for you to look at. Not just one thing. So
it makes it tough. It makes it tougher when your content's more sporadic. Ours is so much more consistent, you know, because we are doing 3-4 shows a week. You know what I mean? Every single week, week after week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really does. You know, at that point, that's where our subscriber count comes from.
Yeah.
It's the consistency of the content. You know, and that's where you are kind of selective. You know what I mean? In how much you put out and how much you don't.
Right. And I understand I do this by myself. So it's like Jeff has, not to say Jeff doesn't do nothing, but Jeff has more time that he could devote to all.
I do. I have a lot of time.
I work 3 jobs and then I do this.
I don't have one job.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, Jeff got the call today. He's like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'll go.
I've got nothing going on. This is what I said.
Yeah, Jeff's like,
work on content on the Bleeding Edge. That's the only other thing. That's what I'll be doing when we get off of here. I'll be doing the same thing that DJ does. Working on content, right? But no, I mean honestly, Danny, when you get bigger, you just end up needing more help. I'm on Upwork right now, trying to pay for somebody to do some video editing for me, and to hire a virtual assistant because I can't keep up with the demand of getting the guests on the shows and whatnot all the fucking time, whatnot, all that show after show and all that, getting the creators to come on, all the reaching out, all the media greeting and all that shit, whatnot.
Yeah,
it's so time consuming.
It really is. It's a lot of work, and it's a labor of love for me. I love doing these shows, and I honestly, not to boost my own horn, Jeff will tell you I have a lot of great content on this network. So jump on, watch some stuff, hit the subscribe button down below, share the channel, tell your friends that, hey, jump on, subscribe, and check out some of the stuff on the DJB Productions Network. Go over to the MCU's Bleeding Edge, check out that stuff as well. For my good friend, True Knowledge, Jeff S., my name is Danny J. Until next time, keep your eyes to the stars and your cape in the wind, and we'll see you next time right here on the DJB Productions Network and Capes not included.